Investiture of the Gods, Chapter 62.
In the capital, Zhou, the news arrives.
Yeah.
How does it land?
Well, the official who gets the report first, a guy named Feng Jingchen, he doesn't even pause. He just explodes.
Explodes how?
Verbally. He calls Su Hu an old scoundrel and then really lays into him, saying he's worse than dogs and swine.
Wow. Strong words.
It shows you how personal this was. Betraying the emperor wasn't just politics. It was seen as a deep moral failing, a failure to repay kindness. Loyalty was paramount.
So after this initial outburst, the report goes up to King Zhu himself, right? He's in his picking star tower.
That's right, and the king's reaction is described as greatly astonished, which is interesting because it suggests maybe he was genuinely surprised.
You think so? He saw Su Hu as a trusted insider, a noble relative. Yeah. Maybe he really didn't see it coming.
It seems that way, but the real political maneuvering, the really fascinating part, starts when Queen Daji gets involved. She'd already heard the news.
Ah, Daji. Okay. She always knows how to play the game, doesn't she?
Oh, absolutely. And she puts on a masterclass here. It's pure political theater disguised as despair.
Right. Describe this for us. What does she do?
She goes before the king, kneels down, and the text says her tears are flowing like pearls. Just perfect, calculated sorrow.
Yeah.
And then she makes this incredibly dramatic offer. She says, basically, execute me, cut off my head, display it publicly.
Wait, why would she offer that?
To prove the king's impartiality. She frames it as a way for him to uphold the ancestral laws and show that justice matters more than his feelings for her. She's daring him.
Daring him to choose the state over her. That's, wow.
And King Zhu, he completely folds. He's mesmerized by her crying beauty, compares her to a pear blossom in the rain, a crying spring bird.
So the performance works perfectly.
Perfectly. And then he says the line that just seals the deal on his priorities. He tells her, even if I lose the entire empire, it's preferable to harming you. He literally says losing the whole kingdom is better than hurting her.
Okay, let's just pause on that. He explicitly puts her above the entire dynasty. Is this like the moment the mandate of heaven just shatters for him?
I mean, you could certainly argue that it's the absolute abandonment of his duty as ruler. He's choosing personal obsession, infatuation, really, over the state, over his ancestors, over everything.
It's not just a flaw anymore. It feels like a total political collapse.
It really is. It's a massive aha moment for understanding why the Shang were seen as losing legitimacy. Their leaders' priorities were completely upside down.
All right, so Daji is safe. The king's priorities are clear. What about the military response? He needs someone to go punish Su Hu and the rebels, right, to correct their crime.
Yes, the focus shifts to retaliation. The recommendation for who should lead the expedition comes from Upper Grand Master Li Ding.
And who does he suggest?
He points to General Zhang Shan, who commands the garrison at Shan Pass. Li Ding notes he's experienced in warfare, also, importantly, judicious and careful, Zi.
So, a steady hand after the shock of the betrayal. Makes sense.
Exactly. They need competence and loyalty now.
And the king agrees, issues the command.
He does. The imperial command, the Zhao, gives Zhang Shan sweeping powers for this campaign, full authority for the expedition.
So, carte blanche, basically.
Pretty much. The king even adds a line saying he wanted to lead the troops himself, but was advised against it. Probably Daji's advice, you think?
Could be. And he promises Zhang Shan a huge reward if he wins.
Oh, yeah, the highest reward. The granting of land and title as a feudal lord. This underlines how critical this mission is seen. It's not just putting down a rebellion, it's potentially saving the dynasty's face.
High stakes indeed. So Zhang Shan gets his orders, and he moves quickly.
Very quickly. He mobilizes 100,000 troops. Tian Bao and Li Jin are appointed as his vanguard, the generals leading the charge.
And they set off. The text has this interesting description of the journey, doesn't it?
It does. It paints a picture of early summer, wind, soft and sun warm, green shade, new lotus flowers. Really quite idyllic.
But juxtaposed with the mission.
Right. It mentions the pomegranate flowers, which were symbolic of military campaigns, the Wat Shu, the scene of setting out for war. That contrast between the beauty of nature and the grim purpose of the army is quite striking.
Okay, so the army marches and eventually arrives at the destination, Xiqi, the Zhou capital. They reach the North Gate. What happens then?
Well, the advance general, Qin Bao, the one who later gets killed, suggests they should rest the troops. He makes the point that they've marched a long way and are tired even before fighting Xiqi.
Sensible enough. Does Zhang Shan agree?
He does, and this shows his prudence, the quality Li Ding highlighted. Zhang Shan says Zhang Zia, the Zhu strategist, is known to be brilliant. Restiness shouldn't be underestimated. Xiqi.
So rest first, then attack.
Exactly. He acknowledges the need for rest, but also affirms that swift action, Xiqi, is the goal once they're ready. He's thinking strategically.
All right, let's shift perspective then. Inside Xiqi, what's Zhang Zia up to? He must know this massive army is parked outside his gate.
Oh, he knows. And he's preparing, not just defensively, but he's setting up a kind of ceremony. And as part of that, he gives a very strange military order. He tells his forces to prepare banners, but only red banners.
Just red, isn't that wrong? Don't armies use different colors?
Precisely. Standard military practice at the time relied on the 5 colors, blue, yellow, red, white, black, corresponding to the 5 directions. This was absolutely crucial for command and control, telling units where to move, how to form up.
So ditching that system seems like madness. Even his own generals must have been confused.
They were. The veteran general Huang Feihu basically asks him, how are we supposed to command the troops? How will they know left from right, advance from retreat, if all the flags look the same?
Yeah, but that's a fair question. It sounds like a recipe for disaster, confusing your own side. How could that possibly be a good idea?
Okay, so this is Zia's strategic aha moment, the key insight. He explains it on 2 levels. First, there's a sort of elemental, mystical justification. He says red represents fire. Zhuge, being in the West, is associated with the element metal. He argues that the cold, hard metal of the West needs the fire element to refine it, to make it useful. Lose. It's a symbolic statement that the Zhu destiny involves being tempered by conflict, by fear, to achieve greatness.
So it's part prophecy, part psychological warfare against his own troops, maybe, priming them for the fight.
You could see it that way, but there's also a very practical, deceptive reason.
Ah, the tactical angle.
Yes. Zia clarifies they will still use small colored strips or markers within units for close order recognition so his own commanders can manage things, but from a distance, across the battlefield.
All Zhang Shan will see is a sea of red.
Exactly. He won't be able to read their formations, won't know their intentions. Zia even quotes military doctrine. Yelisiu, the art of war, says, doubt breeds chaos.
He's deliberately sowing confusion in the enemy commander's mind before the first spear is thrown. Clever. Very clever.
It's psychological warfare embedded in ceremony and logistics.
All right, the stage is set. Zhang Shan's rested army outside. Zia's sea of red flags inside. How does the fighting actually start?
Zhang Shan issues a challenge. And interestingly, the person who steps up from the Xiqi side is Deng Zhugong, another high-profile defector from Shang.
Oh, right. The commander who switched sides earlier. What does he think of Zhang Shan?
He's pretty dismissive, actually. Calls Zhang Shan just a brave but simple general, implying he's all muscle, no subtlety.
Okay, so the first actual clash pits Zhang Shan's vanguard, Qin Bao, against Deng Zhugong.
Correct. And Qin Bao starts with insults, predictably, calling Zhugong a traitor, and repeating that worse than dogs and swine line.
Seemed to be a popular insult in the Shan camp.
It does, but the trash talk doesn't help him. They fight for about 30 rounds, and Deng Zhugong is clearly the better warrior.
How does it end?
Zhugong uses a specific technique. A returning horse Cam kills Qin Bao, cuts off his head, and takes it. A decisive first victory for Xiqi, and a big blow to Shang morale right away.
Okay, so with his vanguard commander dead, Zhang Shan himself has to step up.
He does. But before they fight, Deng Zhugong tries a different tactic. He actually tries to recruit Zhang Shan.
Seriously? Recruit the guy set specifically to crush the rebellion?
Yes. Zhugong argues that King Zhu is a tyrant, a che, that this whole conflict is aligned with the will of heaven and the people. He promises Zhang Shan will still achieve high rank if he just switches sides now.
How does Zhang Shan take that offer?
About as well as you'd expect. He calls Zhugong a glib scoundrel, hello Cho, accuses him of spreading unfounded words, and just attacks immediately. No negotiation.
So the two main generals finally clash. How does this fight go?
They go at it hard, another 30 rounds or so. But this time, it seems Deng Zhugong is starting to struggle. The text says his knife technique grew disordered. Zhang Shan is getting the upper hand.
So Zhugong is about to lose.
It looks that way. But then comes the intervention. Deng Zhugong's daughter, Deng Shanyu, who was watching from the lines, she acts.
His daughter.
She hurls a stone rail and hits Zhang Shan right in the face.
Hits the commanding general in the face with a rock.
Exactly. It injures him, enrages him, and forces him to break off the fight and retreat back to his camp. But then we've got a visitor from Penglai Island showing up to help Zhang Shan. Tell us about this guy. What does Yu Yizhan look like? Because the description is something else.
It really is. So he looks like a Taoist,
Yep.
dark robe, hemp sandals, hair in that double bun style. But then you see his face, and it's not quite human. Shrunken cheeks, and the main thing, a beak, like a hawk's beak, sharp. The text actually says, "Zuruyingzi beak like a raptor."
Wow. Okay, so that definitely signals predator, right? Not just some meditating monk.
Absolutely. And he proves his value straight away. Zhang Shan's got these bad battle wounds.
Right.
And Yu Yishan just gives him some kind of drug and poof,
Yeah.
healed instantly.
So immediate impact, he establishes his power.
Exactly. That's his intro. And while he goes by Yu Yishan, the Winged Immortal, we find out pretty quickly that's not his original form. He's actually the great Peng Goldwing Rock.
The Da Peng Jinji Diao.
That's the one. Also known as the King of Birds, the Qin Wang. So we're talking ancient, terrifying power here.
Okay, massive power, ancient lineage. Yet his first big move against Jiang Ziya is based on gossip.
Pretty much. He marches up and demands a fight because he heard Ziya insulted him. Said Ziya wanted to pluck my feathers and pull out my tendons.
Which is just wild. How does Ziya handle that? Because that's a serious accusation from a serious being.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Ziya doesn't power up or call his buddies. He just uses logic.
Logic against a giant bird god.
Yep. Pure rationality. He basically points out, excuse me, we've never actually met.
Right.
So any insult you heard must be, rumor, someone stirring up trouble. Ban Nong Shi Fei, as the text calls it.
Calling him out on basing his rage on hearsay.
Exactly. And Ziya's just so calm about it, it actually makes the rock pause.
He pauses.
He does. He considers it and even says something like, this statement is greatly reasonable.
No way. A moment of clarity from the giant angry birdman. That's amazing.
It is. It shows there's a crack there. He can be reasoned with, maybe,
Yeah.
but it doesn't last. He still gives this vague, arrogant warning, like, I'll let it slide this time, but watch it.
And that's enough for Neza, right? He doesn't take disrespect to Zaya lightly.
Not at all. Bezi hears that arrogance and just attacks, and that kicks everything off.
Right, the battle begins. But it's not just Neza, is it? This is where Ziya's disciples really shine as a team.
Oh, absolutely. It's not a duel. It's a coordinated takedown. They see this immensely powerful being, and they immediately surround him. Wei Guogayan, attack the core from all sides.
So they're not trying to match his power, they're trying to overwhelm his position.
Precisely. Stop him using his flight, stop him escaping into the earth, hit him everywhere at once.
Okay, break it down for us. How did this synchronized attack work?
Right. Picture this happening almost simultaneously. 3 levels.
Yeah.
From the top, you've got Lei Zhenzi, he can fly. Remember coming down with his golden cudgel.
Okay, air attack.
Then the middle layer, that's where the heaviest hits land. Neza hits his shoulder with the universe ring. Yang Jian attacks with his 3-pointed double-edged knife. And then, this is genius.
Yeah.
He sends in the howling celestial dog. It clamps right onto the rock's neck.
The dog! They brought the dog into a melee fight. That's brutal.
It shows how serious they were. No messing around. And right after the dog bites, Huang Tianhua hits his right arm with the heart-piercing nail.
Oof. Shoulder, neck, arm. He's getting hammered.
And they're not done. The lower-level attack comes from Tu Xingsun, the Earthmaster. He goes for the legs.
So head, shoulders, knees, and toes, basically. But with divine weapons.
Pretty much. He gets hit high, middle, low, neck, arm, legs, all at the same instant.
I mean, that's got to be just shocking, even for an immortal rock.
Completely overwhelming, all that focused damage all at once. His only option is to bail.
So he doesn't fight back, he just runs.
He literally burrows into the ground and escapes. Ji Duden-zu.
Tactical retreat, you might say. Or just running away into the dirt.
Wow. So round 1 goes to teamwork and strategy, not raw power.
Definitely. But that defeat, that humiliation of being chased off by, let's face it, younger opponents, that leads directly to his next, much bigger plan. The cosmic vengeance. He doesn't take losing well, does he?
Not at all. Back in Zhang Shan's camp, he heals himself up, but he's furious. He's beyond just wanting revenge on the disciples.
What's he planning?
He vows, basically, to wipe Xiqi off the map. He says he's going to turn the entire county into the Bohai Sea, like flood it permanently. By morning,
turn it into the sea. That's not just magic, that's geological warfare.
Exactly. And remember, the Great Peng Rock is said to have the power to fan the four seas dry. So this isn't an idle threat. This is within his cosmic pay grade.
Okay, that's terrifying. How does Zhang Zia figure this out? Does he get a warning?
It's actually a really neat detail. He doesn't get a scroll or a vision. A sudden violent wind rips roof tiles off in the camp. Zia recognizes it's unnatural, does an emergency divination with gold coins.
And
he's terrified. The sources say scared out of his wits. He knows this is way beyond what his team can handle directly.
so what's his counter? You can't exactly build a wall against the ocean.
His first move is clever, but maybe not enough. He performs a big ritual to call up water from the North Sea, essentially creating a magical flood barrier around Xiqi to shield it, fighting water with water.
Okay, a water shield. But against someone who can move oceans? Is that enough?
Apparently not on its own, because the threat is so massive, it triggers, let's call it, divine intervention from higher up. The cosmic bureaucracy has to step in.
Okay. Who gets involved?
The big boss himself. Yuanqi Tianzun from Kunlun Mountain. The source says he personally intervenes. He takes this special water from his vase, the Sangwang Shen Shui, the Three Lights divine water, and just sprinkles it over the north to sea water. Zia is summoned near Xiqi.
Three Lights divine water, what does that do?
It's like a divine stabilizer. It anchors everything. It means the water Zia called up and Xiqi itself cannot be moved or overwhelmed. He also orders these four deities, the Gothez deities, to literally hold the city stable. So Xiqi is now divinely locked down.
Okay, so the stage is set. You've got the rock ready to unleash ocean-moving power, and Zia's shield is now supercharged by Yuanqi Tianzun. What happens when the rock tries his move?
Right, first watch, early night, Yi Xian transforms. He becomes the Great Peng golden-winged rock. The description is epic, covering half the sky. Just immense.
Let's picture it. Terrifying.
And then he starts flapping. Not just once or twice. He flaps his wings constantly, like 70 or 80 times nonstop, all night long. From the first watch clear through to the fifth watch just before dawn, pouring all his energy into drying up the sea around Xiqi.
All that effort, the sheer power output must be astronomical.
Absolutely. But the result, total anticlimax.
Oh, what happened?
Because of that, Three Lights divine water stabilizing Zia's water shield. Every time the rock flapped his wings trying to push the sea away, the water level around the city actually rose slightly instead of dropping.
Wait, so his effort backfired? He was making the water higher?
Exactly. He's flapping like mad, using up all this cosmic energy, and all he's doing is making the flood worse for himself. The rising water almost drowns him.
Oh my God. That's humiliating, doesn't even cover it. You try to move the ocean and almost drown yourself in a puddle you made bigger.
Utter failure. He used all his strength, achieved nothing except nearly dying, and failed to change the geography one bit.
So what does he do? Stowell still tries again?
Nope, he's done.
Yeah.
He is so deeply ashamed he can't even face going back to Zhang Shan's camp.
He doesn't report back.
He just flees, abandons the mission, abandons his ally, completely exhausted, physically drained, and just mortified. Shame becomes his primary motivator.
And that shame, that decision to run instead of facing the failure, that leads him right into the next trap, doesn't it?
Correctly. Because now he's not just ashamed, he's also weak, exhausted, and starving. Apparently, giant immortal rocks don't pack trail mix.
Good point. Arrogance doesn't leave room for practicalities.
So he flies off, finds this beautiful, remote mountain cave. The descriptions are really lush, ancient trees, flowers, cranes. Very peaceful.
A place to recover.
You'd think. But he sees a Taoist just sitting there, meditating quietly, and the rock, still thinking like a predator, and now desperate with hunger.
Oh no, don't tell me.
Yep. His first thought is lunch. He decides to eat the meditating Taoist.
He just never learns, does he? Still thinks he's top of the food chain, even after getting beaten twice.
Exactly. And this is lesson number 3, and maybe the hardest. Never underestimate stillness. Before the rock can even make a move, the Taoist just points a finger at him.
Just points.
Just points. And bam. The Great Peng, golden-winged rock, mover of oceans, crashes straight to the ground.
Yeah.
Immobilized. Instantly.
Defeated by a gesture, not a team, not a high god, just a finger point. Wow.
Total shutdown. And the Taoist, who clearly knows what's going on, sees the rock is starving.
So he helps him.
Sort of. He tells him, hey, there's a feast at Shang's Eye, about 200 lines away at a Purple Cloud Cliff. Go get something to eat.
That sounds suspiciously convenient. Offering food to your enemy right after you magically paralyze him.
It's absolutely a trap. A perfectly designed psychological trap playing on the rock's most immediate need.
Hunger.
So the rock goes, falls for it.
Hook, line, and sinker. He flies off to Purple Cloud Cliff, But wouldn't you know it, his timing's off again.
Let me guess. The main course is finished.
You got it. The people there say, sorry, feast is over. Only pastries left. Shan. Light refreshments.
But he's starving, so he'll take anything.
He insists and proceeds to eat. Not just a few, though.
How many?
The source makes a point of the number. 108 pastries. He eats exactly 108 of them.
108. That sounds significant, like Malabeads or something. It's not just a random number.
Almost certainly not. It feels like a specific magical quantity. Anyway, he eats them all, feels full, restored, maybe even a bit cocky again.
So he flies back, probably thinking he's recovered his strength.
Flies right back past the first Taoist cave, and the Taoist is still there, just sitting, meditating, waiting.
The rock flies past, and the Taoist points his finger again.
What happens this time?
This time, the rock doesn't just fall, he screams. Crashes to the ground, clutching his stomach, yelling that it's broken, completely busted.
Say pastries.
The pastries. The 108 pastries were the delivery mechanism for the final trap. What seemed like nourishment was actually his cage. His hunger led him right into captivity.